What's up, folks? Let's talk about this market cycle, Bitcoin, and just general crypto adoption, and some interesting perspectives from financial experts. This is Crypto with James. Before I get into all of that, as always, I update my spreadsheet. The first 26 coins I spoke about on YouTube that I thought would smash it in the bull cycle. If you put $100 into each one when I release the videos, that would cost you $2,600. You'd be in profit for $35,500. So adding your $2,600, you're sitting on $38,100, which is pretty good. Phantom wasn't a video on YouTube. It was a Udemy course where I said I thought it would be the best investment of the year. It's currently up 149x from when I released the video, when it was at 0.5%. I've held all of these at one point or another. I've sold closed positions on damn near all of these in profit and reinvested that into new cryptos that I think are set for significant gains in this bull cycle. The last few weeks have been very, very good, and I expect it to continue as we're in the second phase of this bull cycle. If you're new to crypto, you're not sure what to invest in, or you want to see what I'm holding, then check the link in the description for copying my crypto. The coins I hold, this portfolio was designed for maximum gains. The coins I hold have huge upside potential, but some of them have some seriously good opportunities for quick returns or for interesting opportunities as well. So if you want to see, click the link in the description. Right, so current cycle at the moment, Bitcoin is still hovering above the 200-day, flittering in between these two spider lines, although we've just fallen out of it. But consistently, I don't feel remotely concerned. You know, here's the last few lows, the low, the low, the low, the low, technically the low there. So we are making higher lows every time. So it's on an upward trajectory. Oh God. So it's on an upward trajectory, which bodes really well. The spider lines have done it all right, but they're a bit crap. I should have used some from a further back time frame, but they still apply. And as you can see, they've landed sort of perfectly on a number of occasions. I expect Bitcoin to sort of steadily gain, but I think September's going to be a massive month. If Bitcoin runs like it should, we should see. I really do think September we're going to see a new all-time high for Bitcoin. Previous all-time high was 64, around 64k. And I think we'll break that in September. I think it's going to be a really good month. You got to bear in mind, we're at 47 now. So you're talking like 20% gain swings us up to around 56k. So add in, so we're probably looking at 40%. If it runs up 40%, we'll probably be at new all-time high or thereabouts. And I think over the course of 30 days in the next month, that should happen. If Bitcoin does that, obviously the altcoins are going to go wild. Now, there's a few things to talk about with regards to the market and everything going on. So we've got, I always find this interesting, you know, Bloomberg's, not Bloomberg's, but it's a billionaire, Paulson, one of the men who shorted subprime mortgages, you know. He believes that crypto is a worthless bubble, but that is a really interesting one because he's basing it on eventually it'll prove to be worthless and he wouldn't recommend it to anyone. I find that very odd. Now, obviously, he did one of the best trades of all time, but this is coming from a guy who doesn't understand crypto. He certainly doesn't understand blockchain. He certainly doesn't understand crypto, and that's the sort of intrigue, really. Fundamentally, you know, what he said about cryptocurrencies, I would say that cryptos are a bubble. I would describe them as a limited supply of nothing. So to the extent there's more demand than the limited supply, the price would go up. But to the extent the demand falls, then the price would go down. There's no intrinsic value to any of the cryptocurrencies except that there's a limited amount. Cryptocurrencies, regardless of where they're trading today, will eventually prove to be worthless. Once the exuberance wears off, liquidity dries up, they'll go to zero. I wouldn't recommend anyone invest in cryptocurrencies. So, and they ask him, so based on what you said, why wouldn't you put a big short on cryptocurrencies? And he pointed out the reason we shorted subprime in size was because it was asymmetrical. Shorting a bond at par that has a limited duration that trades at 1% spread of treasuries. So you limited on your potential losses, but with the swings in cryptocurrency, he could get wiped out. So even though I could be right over the long term, in the short term, I'd be wiped out. In the case of Bitcoin, it went from 5k to 45k. It's just too volatile to short. But this is a guy that just doesn't, like, he was phenomenally correct about subprime mortgages, and goddamn that we all wish we'd done it. But fundamentally, doesn't understand the value of crypto. And it isn't just about limited supplies. It's about the blockchains behind it. It's about the value the networks can bring. Look at what VeChain does to, look at the benefits VeChain brings to the supply chain. Look at the benefits Ethereum currently, it's obviously the daddy, brings to DeFi. Look at NFTs, look at the collectibles. It's always been a huge market. Baseball cards were a huge market for bloody decades. And now you're going to have digital ones. Just because it's digital doesn't mean it's worth less. It just means it's one you can't physically touch. And this is from a man that doesn't understand crypto. Or doesn't understand blockchains. But obviously a man that's exceptionally successful. But yeah, one of the so-called financial experts. Another story, obviously, is will PayPal's adoption of Bitcoin make cryptocurrency more mainstream? Yes. It is fundamentally yes. Of course it will. But it won't do it in... So, PayPal now will allow UK customers. I know there's the US have had access to it for a while. UK will now. They actually did a YouGov, which if you're unfamiliar with the UK, YouGov is like a survey that thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people end up doing. In August 2019, just 3% of people in the UK own cryptocurrencies. By July 2021, that had risen to 8%. It's quite dramatic. Nearly 3 times the amount of people. It's pretty good. So the fact that there's going to be and probably a barrier to entry for a lot of people is, how the hell do I buy it? How the hell do I buy crypto? And you've got to think about it from an individual's perspective. If you're an individual's just done a full bloody day at work, and then they're going to come home and go, I want to buy some Bitcoin, but I've got to learn exactly how to and what to do. It's quite complicated for people that are brand new, so they don't get around to it. There's probably a very large percentage of people that want to, but don't. But there's the barrier to entry and the energy required are too high. So PayPal, of course, is going to have some impact on it. It'll be interesting to see how many people start with PayPal and then transition into things like KuCoin, Binance. Well, Binance probably not in the UK at the moment, but Coinbase, KuCoin, Huobi. Because I imagine that will be there'll be a very big uptake from that. But yes, PayPal, of course, will lead to higher adoption. And the last thing was the last piece of news, but it's something that a lot of people have spoken about. So in 2013, the Bitcoin cycle had a double top, right? As in, we saw a big drop before a huge run on Bitcoin. And that's what this cycle screamed. And there were a lot of people doing different things. I saw some YouTubes, like a number of YouTubers saying that they thought it was the end of the cycle. A number thought that it wasn't. When we were starting to get into this bearish market, I'd relentlessly said I didn't believe for 1 second that we were at the end of the bull cycle. I thought it was a mid-cycle correction. I did say that. I said that to everyone on Copy My Crypto. And we are seeing that it's coming out now. Now, the stock-to-flow model is going to probably be wrong in terms of the max prediction. We've had a few people talking about it again. So Luke Martin and Bobby Lee spoke about a second run, and they're believing that that's gonna occur. Plan B, who create the stock to flow model, predicts, or the stock to flow model predicts 100k by Christmas. But the next months will be key. But we'll see on that. I still think we can break. I think 100k is going to be a fairly massive resistance level. I do think it will hit it though. But the stocks flow model, you know, a lot of you will have seen $288,000 for a Bitcoin, but I don't see that. I think that's too out of the reach this year, next cycle. And then Will Clement actually put up, which I like in terms of showing the scarcity of Bitcoin at the moment, or the supply shock. So he explains that the current phase is the most potent on-chain accumulation phase for Bitcoin, and this is a shakeout before the altcoin targets a price. The altcoin? Before it targets a price above 50k. But the on-chain data does show it as well. But we're in a phase of, if you look at the illiquid supply and the RSI, we're at one of the highest points that we've been in, other than, you know, that sort of month-long run that we had earlier in the year. So 50k is going to be somewhat of a resistance level to hold, to break through. We saw it sort of partially break through and then rebounded. But yeah, I definitely see a 50k once it breaks it and holds above it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's swung up to 55k really fast. According to FX Street analysts, they think a crash to 40k level is likely as Bitcoin lures more investors into long positions. You can see it happening, potentially, like a 18% retracement. I think it's unlikely though. I think it's unlikely to see a Bitcoin an 18% retracement. I think we're more likely to see it break 50k than we are to see it drop to 40k in the next 30 days. Tackling the 50k level is going to be vital, but I think we'll be probably looking at that to be broken over a weekend. It'll probably happen. It could even happen this Friday. 10% swing up, but if it can hold it and hold a daily candle above it, that's pretty good. That should flip the 50k level to a support level. But it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. But what do you think in terms of experts? Do you think Paulson, John Paulson, is right? Do you think PayPal's going to cause massive adoption? Do you believe these crypto experts are right? That is the question. Let me know in the comments. As always, if you're brand new to crypto, check out Copy My Crypto. I keep I consistently release videos, making sure everyone's aware of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, the huge benefits of the coins that I'm holding, and the massive opportunities that are afforded by the coins that I hold. And if you want to see what those opportunities are, click the link in the description. That's it from me. Take care. Bye-bye.